Hello students, hope you all are good. So today we'll be starting up with the first chapter of 11th class biology, and the name of the chapter is The Living World. Now students, as you all have entered to a new class, that is 11th, now we should know that what is the meaning of the term biology. So here it is. The term biology is derived from the Greek word bios, which means life, and here logy means study of. So we can say that biology is the study of life and living organisms. Now student, then what is life? Life can be defined as the property or quality of the living organisms that distinguish from dead or non-living in some functions, like it can be growth, it can be metabolism, it can be a response to stimuli, or it can be a reproduction. So one by one we'll be studying these characteristics. The first one is growth. Fine. When something is growing in mass or number. Then we have metabolism. It is used to describe all chemical reaction involved in maintaining the living state of cells and the organisms. Talking about the response to stimuli, here stimuli students, you have all read this thing in your class 10th control and coordination chapter. So a thing or event that evoke a specific functional reaction in an organ or tissue is said to be a stimuli. Now what is reproduction? It is the production of an offspring which give rise to a progeny, right? Now one by one we'll be discussing them. See, talking about growth. Now students, all living organisms grow. We can say that increase in mass and increase in number of individuals give rise to this term, that is growth. Now students, a multicellular organism grows by cell division, right? Now you all have studied this term in your class 9. Cell division is of two types. Fine. The first one we have is the mitosis, which takes place in the somatic cells, and another one we have is the meiosis, which takes place in the gonad cells. Now students, talking about the plants and animals, in plants this growth, or we can say this growth by cell division, it occurs continuously throughout their lifespan. So plants में हमेशा जो growth होगी वो कैसी रहेगी? Continuous. But talking about animals, this growth is seen only up to a certain age. Fine? Because growth is not continuous in case of animals. Now students, cell division occurs in certain tissue to replace lost cells. So talking about our body, we also lose some cells, and when cell have been lost, new cell comes with the help of the process that is cell division. Now students, unicellular organisms, they also grow by cell division. One must remember that increase in body mass is considered as growth. So you can read out these following points, very, very important. Now students, non-living objects also grow. You might be wondering, how ma'am? So if we take increase, they also grow. If we take increase in body mass as a criteria for growth, for example, we talk about mountains, boulders and sand mounds. They do grow. However, this kind of growth exhibited by a non-living object is by accumulation of material on the surface. So we can say that if we talk about mountains, if we talk about sand mounds, what happened in this case? That there is an accumulation of material on the surface. So we can say that they can also grow, right? Now talking about living organism, in living organism, growth is from inside. Growth therefore cannot be taken as a defining property of living organism. Now student, very important, this thing you already know, that a dead organism does not grow. So these were the points taken in consideration in case of growth. Now comes next process or the characteristics of living organism students, and that is reproduction. Now in multicellular organism, reproduction refers to the production of progeny, fine, which is more or less similar to that of parents. Now students, we are having two types of reproduction. This thing you have already done, but let me just tell you. The first one we have is the sexual, and another one we have is the asexual. Now, organism, they reproduce by asexual means also. How? For example, fungi, it multiplies and spread easily due to the millions of asexual spores they produce. In lower organisms like yeast and hydra, the budding can be seen. And talking about planaria, which is also known as flatworm, we observe a regeneration process where what exactly happens? That a fragmented organism regenerates the lost part of its body and becomes a new organism. Now, students, we have defined growth as equivalent to increase in cell number or mass. We notice that in a single-celled organisms, we are not very clear about the usage of these two terms like growth and reproduction, right? So there are many organisms which do not reproduce. Can you give me some examples? For example, students, we have mules, sterile workers bee, infertile human couples, etc. These are the organisms which do not reproduce. Hence, reproduction also cannot be an all-inclusive defining characteristics of living organisms. Fine, but it is one of the characteristics of living organisms. Like you all can see here in the diagram, this is on your left hand side, it is shown the asexual reproduction process, binary fission in amoeba, but budding in hydra, right? And talking about sexual reproduction, which involves two parent. Fine, but here in this case it involves only one parent. So look at this picture very carefully. We have a male, a father, and a mother, female, which gave rise to ovum with the help of the process that is known as meiosis, and a sperm. When they fuse together, this results in the process that is known as fertilization, which gave rise to a new offspring.